Hey guys, Enter the Stars. And this is a very brief part 2 to the decoding of Back to the Future, part 3. And in this scene, Doc, played by Christopher Lloyd, asks for whiskey. The bartender asks him, "What'll it be?" He says, "Whiskey." Now, this is just before the comment where he talks about Clara being one in a Googleplex, which is a number with many zeros behind it. But again, this film came out 8 years before Google was established. But what we're going to focus on now in this scene is something hit me here, because this scene is the scene from The Shining, but it's a mirror of that scene. Because remember, Lloyd was the bartender in The Shining. And remember, in the Shining film, at the final scene, we see Jack Nicholson in the 4th of July ball. This is the image from that. Here it is here. Now, in the script, as the bartender is pouring the shot of whiskey, he says, "Whiskey, Emmett, are you sure you know what happened to you on the 4th of July? So we have a drink being poured, Lloyd from the original Shining script. Here it is here. We have Jack Nicholson at the bar speaking to Lloyd. We have this gentleman at the bar speaking to Lloyd. And we have the 4th of July reference all tied into this scene. This is just another example of how they hide these things in plain sight. Now, a person came on the channel and said, "Why are you exposing this stuff? Why do you do this?" And I told them that every single person on this planet with any kind of device that can see anything that is published in the media, movies, television, radio, in the mainstream, is being succumbed and exposed to this kind of sorcery every time you look at this. So what you have to ask yourself is if 99% of the people on this planet have no idea what the hidden imagery is within this, then why has the devil spent trillions of dollars implanting this stuff into what we watch? Again, I'll say that again. If 99% of the people on the planet don't see this, then why is the devil implanting this stuff inside of it? And it's because the answer is there must be some kind of effect that it has on us. So unless you know what the sorcery is, then you close your eyes and ears and you continue watching this, and then the effects of whatever it does is doing something to you. And I believe that it is what causes us to sin. I believe if we could turn all of our television sets off, we would have an easier time finding Christ. But sadly, many of us are addicted, and this is what we do. So the least we can do is decode this stuff and tell you what's going on and expose the deception in each one of these films. Now, this takes a very high trust level, and I understand that. That's why I tell you guys, don't ever just listen to me. Do the research for yourself. In all actuality, you really don't know who I am, even though I give you my phone number and you can talk to me and we can do these exposés together. And this is a process involving all of us. But still, even on that level, you don't know who I am. So you have to go inside and go into the Holy Spirit and pray about everything that you're seeing here, so that you are not deceived by anybody. We had a tough lesson on that last week. So in the scene in The Shining, Jack asks for bourbon, a whole bottle of bourbon, okay? And he asks Lloyd. So we have bourbon, whiskey. Jack mentions 5 miserable months on the wagon as he's talking to Lloyd. The wagon. And Back to the Future 3 is a Western. And then Jack goes to talk about women. Can't live with them, can't live without them. And we have the exact same storyline here in the script as Christopher Lloyd is at the bar talking about his woman problems. Okay. Now, I know that we see this often with the man at the bar, but this is too exact to not draw the association between the two scenes. Now, here's where it gets creepy. The very instant that Doc says Googleplex, the timestamp is 1:16:01, matching the length of the film at 119 minutes and all the 116 and 9/11 backwards synchronicities that we found in this film, which was the whole point of the decode, which is pretty amazing. So you're asking how all this ties back in to Google, and I'm going to demonstrate that to you right now. Google was established and founded on September 4th. September 4th is the 118th days remaining till the end of the year. But in leap years, it's the 119th days remaining to the end of the year. As you can see here, the anti-date. So we established that the exact moment where he said Googleplex was, in fact, 116:01. So there you go. There is your connection to Google. Their founding date links directly in to the timestamp of when they mentioned Google. Now, if you don't see this, this is what happens, okay? Ignoring this empowers them to wage evil because they figure we're too dumb to get it. And this is the war in heaven, okay? They have their way with us through sacrifice, whatever they want to do. Our children, this is what they do. And I'm not trying to scare you guys, but this is the truth. This is why there's so much chaos in the world. We're shown the truth and we never find it and seek it. And it empowers the ruler of this world. There's more synchronicities. That's not it with Google. Look at the stats on these numbers. There's your 9/11. There's your 44s. There's your 13s, which is the number of the train. 131 was the number of the train. 1955 was the was the year in the film as well. So we have the year of the film. The year in the film was 1955, traveling to 1885. We have the train number, which was 131, all linked in here, where they had the train push them. We have the number 44, which is your Obama reference, the 44th president, but all the other stats in the Back to the Future with 244 box office, The Shining with the 144-minute and 44.4 million box office. Now you tell me who's crazy. The people that are ignoring this or the people that are exposing it? Now you know why I have so many thumbs down in my comment section on my videos. They cannot afford for people to believe this. If they do, it would change the face and course of events of the last days. They had never in their wildest dreams thought that a group of people, a group of 20,000 people could have discovered this stuff. And they're probably shaking in their boots right now because God is on their trail. And he will be successful in taking down Gog of Magog. So finally, I carried this one step further and I said, okay, if those scenes match, then what other similarities are there between Back to the Future 3 and the movie The Shining? And lo and behold, The Shining released almost exactly 10 years earlier in 1980. 10 years and 2 days. May 23rd and May 25th, Now, The Shining had a separate release date as well of November 7th. That's 11/7, which is 77. But look at the running times on this film. There's your 119 backwards. 9/11. This is probably blowing you guys away right now. But sadly, many will still ignore this and chalk it up to coincidence. Even if I decode 1,000 videos, 1,000 movies, they will never admit this because it is kind of scary if you don't have Christ. 119, they have the same running time in the European version. 9/11 backwards. 144 minutes in the American version, signaling the 44th president to come that would tie in the New World Order. Box office of 44.4. Look at all the 44s, and then look at the 44 in the box office of Back to the Future 3. None of these numbers are by accident. Everything is by design, and there is one ruler of this world. And it would behoove all of those who get this, who can lower their egos down, to admit that their religions have been lying to them, that the world leaders have been lying to them, that everybody has been lying to them. And if they could only see the truth, then they would come to Jesus Christ. And that is what all of this is about. The time for sitting on the fence is over. Take care and be safe, you guys.